Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Clark in beautiful Vancouver at the Metals Investor Forum, and I'm here with the CEO of Homeland Uranium, Roger Lemaitre. Roger, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there are several things that I like about this company. I invested in the company, starting with the fact that you kind of sit directly in the path of what the U.S. government, led by Trump, wants to do with uranium and domestic supply and all of that. Talk a little bit about that, because that's meaningful for the company, because you're in Colorado, right in the USA.
Yeah, I like to think that we were omnipotent and knew this is exactly going to happen
Right.
the way it did.
Sure.
But I think even before the Trump came into power, you could see the world in the uranium space starting to, back in the 90s, we saw a bifurcated price in uranium, where there was the CIS price and the Western world price. And you can kind of see that's where things were heading. And energy security was going to be a big deal. And with the U.S. being so exposed to foreign sources, and some friendly, some not, it was right. Something that we thought there was a really great value to be able to do something. An opportunity came through to me to help when I wasn't actually originally at Homeland or the predecessor company. I was sort of in the middle of finding a home for these resources that we brought into the company. And I really thought it's important for a uranium company today to be in this position where they do have resources. It's a sustainability issue. Resource in the U.S., I really do believe it's if you can build it with the quote of being economically, there's going to be a buyer for what you need to do with it. And from an investor point of view, which is the most important part, especially for this conference, there is room for investors to make money on U.S. assets and U.S. projects versus getting into some of the more, established or high-profile basins where the cost of barrier of entry is significantly higher. Like what we paid to get into this project is substantially cheaper than you would get a joint venture interest to, say, a classic Athabasca project that's a grassroots stage. So there was room for everybody involved. What's happened since we got the company rolling and the initiatives by Trump and the presidential orders have really just put absolute rocket fuel on everything in the space.
Yeah, that's great. The second thing I liked about this company when I first was looking at it was who all was involved and the big names in the uranium sector that are behind this company, working for this company, including yourself. So talk about your background and the background of the people that are involved in this company, including their successes.
So myself, I've been in the uranium industry for 25 years. I remember when I started, it was you literally had to see people pass on or retire before you could get a job in the space. And that's what happened when I joined Cameco in 2001. Worked involved in my first years out there helping make a discovery at Eagle Point. They're one of their mining operations. They moved me into the Saskatchewan management portfolio of their Saskatchewan grassroots projects. And at the same time, I worked on the global acquisition team when the last uranium boom was happening. So we got to go all over the world, see what was happening, what are the right things, good things in almost every jurisdiction. Then they moved me on to be the director for worldwide exploration for all their operating projects. And I did that for a while before leaving. Did a short stint in an AIM-listed company before joining UEX for 9 years, where we grew that company from a 75 million market cap to 310 million and doubled the resources. Wanted to get back into the uranium space. Our VP exploration, Nancy Nomore, has people don't really know her, but she was involved at Denison at the very beginning of the Phoenix days.
Oh, wow.
She was done a lot of work with Latitude Uranium. She worked with me at UEX as well, involved in the Christie Lake discoveries. Okay. She knows what she's doing. She's phenomenal. But I think what really separates us from our peers is the board. That this board, when people were saying, "Hey, you should talk to so and so about being on this board," I went, "I'll talk, but I don't. We're a pretty small company. I don't think this is going to be something that interests them." And so people like Eugene McBurney, who's a legend in the capital market space, and Mark Christensen, we pitched them what we were doing, and they were very excited to join. And the same thing, we got Ross McElroy, who's got tremendous experience. Andrew Tunks, who maybe not as well known in the North American markets as he is in the Australian markets, with his success in Botswana with ACAP in the last cycle, and now with Meteoric in the rare earth space. Really does, and then Rob Shuchuk and his involvement with the energy metals team back in the day, and with Lithium Bank. These guys really know what to do in the space. We cover all the bases you want, from capital markets to M&As through technical.
Yeah, and it's not just one person, it's multiple people involved in each area. that have had successful experience. But and the third thing I liked about the company was the project itself. It comes with a historic resource, one that you need to prove up yet. But this isn't like a grassroots greenfields project. You're working with something, and all you really need to do is drill it to bring it up to 43101 standards. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. I think that's the attractive part about this whole project. We're looking at a scenario where you're not hoping to make a discovery.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we like to do better than what we think we're going to do. Oh, everyone wants that. But it's really, we have a roadmap of saying, okay, here you are. We got a historical resource. Where do we drill these holes? Convert it over. And it's a question of employing the capital in the right way to get to the upgrade of that resource to current standards, and then being able to move it into engineering studies as quickly as we can.
Yeah. So walk us through the path here. You're drilling. You're just going to start drilling now, right? Yep. I believe
we received our permits just a couple of days ago.
Yes.
To start our first part. We break our program that we're planning to do at Coyote Basin into two parts. The phase 1 part is also broken into two parts. And the first part of phase 1 will be drilling about 35 holes. That's 7,000 meters, and I'm gonna have to forget the conversion feet off the top of my head, so I apologize for friends. No, that's and the idea is Western Mining, who was the predecessor discovery company there, basically left us a roadmap saying, here's where the resources are, go out and drill them. But what we don't know for sure, because the spacings and the holes are a little bit odd by today's standards, is where's the plums in here? So we got to do a little bit of work. The second part will be about flushing out those plums a little bit better.
Gotcha.
And then that'll get us to an inferred resource stage. That's our plan. We'll do some preliminary work to see if we can heap leach and recover this.
Oh, wow.
So just some bottle roll and there's some small column leach tests to start to decide what the lixiviants need to be. And then we'll move that on. If all things line up as we expect them to, we'll move on to the infill drilling to the indicated stage to do those engineering studies in a sort of 18-month window.
So just two little drilling programs in two parts of phase 1, and then you'll go into a resource.
Yes, that's the plan.
Wow, that's really fast. That's really impressive.
It's a speed that I'm not used to working at, which is great. I like working at that kind of speed, but it's usually there's always something that makes things challenging, whether it's capital markets or whether it's regulatory angle things. Yeah. It's all lining up. And we were fortunate to add a second project here as well that will allow us to do
That's right. Talk about that real quick, because it came with a resource as well. It's claims right near where you're already working at your flagship. Tell us about that one.
So what was formerly called the Skull Creek, we're calling Crossbones because there was another deposit 2 miles away called Skull Creek. And if you do all the literature, that's what you're going to find, and you're going to think that's what we got. So I don't really want to confuse investors. It was done, it's about the same time as the resource done over here at our friends at Western Mining. It's also comes right to surface. It's also open pit, potentially open pit amenable. I think over potentially wider widths. We picked it up. We wanted to originally get it when we bought the package, but it was already staked. And so the vendor looked at vending it out to another company that didn't work out, and they came back to us and we were able to secure it. It's about 45 million pounds of uranium at a 0.31% grade. And it's in a similar stage at Coyote Basin Project. We're going to have to go and just do some infill drilling. We know we have a lot more drill information that we can actually use. We just there's a little more data we're going to have to acquire to just tie it down a little bit better. But yes, we know within a very small area what we have to do.
That's great. And real quick, your share structure and your financial standing right now?
So we have 101 million shares roughly outstanding, not fully diluted. We have about 35 million warrants and options that are triggered at 50 cents for a 2-year window starting in March. So our share price has actually moved to the point where we're actually really close to that triggering those to move. We have about 10.5 million in the bank with the work that we've already done. So it's going to push us right through those first phase 1 and most of that phase 2 program. We won't need money till the end of 2026 at the earliest. Yeah,
wow, that's great. That's fantastic. You're in a great position all the way around. Yeah. So I really like it. Like I said, I invested in a recent private placement with the company, so I am overweight the stock. I encourage you to check it out. Homeland Uranium. Roger, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for having us.